Hey everyone, welcome back to the JavaScript course. So in this video, we'll be looking into how we can find the factorial of a number in JavaScript. And if you find this interesting, let's get started right away. So in this video, we'll be looking into how we can find the factorial of a number in JavaScript. Okay. So for this, we'll be making use of two methods. So the first method is going to be the iterative method, and the second method is going to be the recursive method. Okay. So firstly, inside my VS Code, I've opened up my index.html file, my style.css file, as well as my script.js file. Okay, so basically inside my index file there is some basic boilerplate code that is present over here, and inside my style.css file there is a basic styling that is given to this page, and for inside my script file there is a basic console.log message. Okay, so now let's start exploring about how we can calculate the factorial of a number. Okay, so we'll just be making use of the console for the result checking part. Okay, so firstly, the first method we'll be following is the iterative approach. So it's going to be the iterative method. So firstly, we're going to say function fact. Okay, and over here firstly we'll just be making use of, let's say, any number that we have. Okay, so we're going to say var number equals to 5. Okay, and to store the factorial value into a container, we'll just be making use of another variable, that is var, let's say f, or f equals to 1. Okay, so the example we have taken is 5. Okay, so just to recap a bit, so the way we find the factorial of 5 is going to be 5 star 4 star 3 star 2 star 1. Okay, so this is the basic way to calculate the factorial of a number. So basically over here we are just multiplying from 5 to 1. Okay, so basically 5 into 4 is 20, and then into 3 is 60, 120, and then into 1 is 1, I mean into equals to 120, right? So basically the multiplication of all these values is going to be 120. Okay, so over here so since we're using the iterative approach, we'll just be making use of a single for loop for it. Okay, and we'll be starting it off from the first value, and then we'll go up until the number 5, and then we'll multiply each time with the factorial value, that is 1. The each time the loop is gonna increase after it has been incremented. Okay, so for that we are gonna say for var I equals to 0, not 0 1, it should start from 1. If it starts from 0, then the whole answer is gonna become 0, right? So I is less than or equal to num, and then I plus plus, like this. Okay, so basically inside a for loop we'll just be computing the result. So we'll say f equals to f star I, something like this. Okay, so the way this runs is, the first time this is going to run, the f value is going to be 1, so it's going to say 1 into 1. Then after that it's going to say 1 into 2, then its result is going to get multiplied with 3, and then 4, and similarly it's going to get multiplied with 5. Okay, so after it has been multiplied with 5, this is incremented, that is basically the I value. So I value becomes 6, and the for loop condition is going to check over here, so which is going to be false. Okay, so we just come out of the for loop, right? So we're going to say return f, something like this. Okay, so now we'll just be calculating the result over here. We're going to say const result equals to, we'll just be equating this to a function fact. Okay, so pretty much we are going to say call the function like this, and we're going to say console.log the factorial of the number is, okay, something like this, and we're going to say result, right? Yeah, it's going to be result, right, like this. Okay, so basically inside a console we should be getting 120 as the result. So let's pretty much save the file. Okay, let's open up a console over here and inspect over here. Yeah, so there you go. So the factorial of the number is going to be 120. So that's working absolutely fine. So that this was it about the first method, that is the iterative approach by making use of a single kind of for loop, right? So I think it was pretty simple by making use of for loop that is starting from 1 until the whole number itself. We are just multiplying the factorial value with the I value that is present inside the for loop, right? So I think that's it about the iterative approach. So next thing we'll be looking into is the recursive approach, something like this. Okay, so we're gonna make use of a new function. We're gonna say function recursive factorial, something like this. Okay, so this is gonna basically take in let's say we'll just take in another number. Okay, we're gonna say var number equals to, this time we'll be calculating the factorial of 10. Okay, so over here basically we're gonna say var factorial result equals to, we will equate a new function over here basically. So this is gonna be, let's say, get factorial. So to this number, so to this get factorial, we'll just be passing this number that is present. Okay, var number. Okay, and after we get the result from this, we'll just be saying return factorial result. Okay, so firstly let's initialize our get factorial function, which is going to have a parameter of number. Okay, so we can do that over here. So we're going to say function like this, and this is going to be get factorial. It's going to take in the number as a parameter. Okay, so basically what we're going to do over here is, so the recursive method is like calling the function. Okay, so we're going to say if in case the number equals to 0, okay, then we need to return the factorial of 0. Okay, so I think is it 1 or 0? Let's check that out. So factorial of, okay, so factorial of 1. Yeah, so it's going to be 1 itself. So pretty much over here inside our method, so it's we're going to say return 1. Okay, so else if it is greater than 1, we'll just be calling that function. Okay, we're going to say number star get factorial of number minus 1. Let's write that correctly. Okay, so this is the way we just calculate the function. Okay, so pretty much over here we can just actually console.log. So let's call this function actually, or we can make use of another variable to equate to this value, because we are returning totally the factorial result over here, right? So I think we forgot to write return over here. So return number star get factorial of number minus 1. Okay, so pretty much we're gonna say const total equals to like fact like this, and we're gonna say console.log over here the recursive approach value. Okay, so this over here is gonna be basically the total itself. Okay, so firstly this is the main function where we are initializing another function, that is get factorial. So inside get factorial we are passing the number that is 10. So over here we have defined get factorial over here, so where the recursive approach happens over here, right? So it's taking a parameter number. So in case the number equals to 0, so the factorial of 0 is 1. So if it is greater than 1, we're going to calculate it by using this, that is number star get factorial of number minus 1. Okay, and we are returning that value, so which is stored in factorial result, and we are returning that over here, so which should be stored inside of this total, right? Because we are equating that function to the total variable, that is the main function rec fact. So inside a total we should be getting the factorial of 10, hopefully, if there is nothing wrong. So let's save the file once. Let's come back to our console. Yeah, so I think it's given some massive value. So let's just check the factorial of 10 over here. Okay, yeah, so 3628800. So 3628800. Yeah, so that's working absolutely fine. So that was it about the recursive approach to find the factorial of a number. Okay, so I think that's it about this video. We explored about the two methods, that is the iterative approach as well as the recursive approach, right? So I think that's it about this video. So let's see in the next video, and then thank you for watching.